Welcome to Viben Now, a collection of guided meditations put into podcast form for your easy listening. My name is Vivienne Gerard, and I will be walking with you through the intoxicating now moments of life here on this planet. These audios are intended to be used as a full meditation if you want to close your eyes, settle down into a comfy spot, and let your subconscious come all the way forward. Or it can simply be some background conversation where the nuggets of information that you most need will make their way into your awareness. Whichever way it works for you, I invite you to open up and enjoy fully this journey of life that we are all taking together. So much love to you.
Good morning and welcome to Soul Shine. We are ready to begin. So if you are returning from last week, welcome back. I am so happy you are here. And if this is your first Soul Shine call, welcome. My heart is celebrating that you are here with us today. Let's dive in. So go ahead and let yourself land wherever it is that you do your meditations. And tune into your body for a moment. So feel this body as it arrives here on this call today. You may be rested, you may be tired, but tune in for a moment and see what is actually happening in your space. Yeah, and you may notice you have to tune in with your breath first. So if you're not quite sure what this is going to be like, you might be feeling a little bit of anxiety or your heart might be racing. If you're like me and you can feel like how much energy is arriving in this space, there's a slowing down of the breathing that is going to allow you to just land and have your own experience even as you sit in the middle of this beautiful community of people who have gathered. So connecting with your breath. And what's helpful for me is to exhale with your mouth open a little bit and really slow down the exhale. What I find is as I do that slowly, it's almost like my energetic body slowly drops in with my physical one. And everything starts to just settle a little bit. So do a few of those big inhales. And then the exhale can be long and slow. Yeah, and as you do that, just allow yourself to come down and in. Good. Good. Feel yourself settling. Here you are on a Sunday morning, carving out some time just for you. And who knows what it's going to bring up, right? Sometimes that's exciting and sometimes it's a little nerve-wracking. So whatever it is for today, let's set the intention that this space, this time, is all about you. So your experience can be completely different than anyone else who is here with us. You can fall asleep for an hour and it'll be exactly what you need. You can listen to every single word and follow it, and it will be perfect and guide you where you need to go. Or you can just sit in this space and tune the whole thing out and exactly receive what it is that your soul wants for this hour. And all of it is perfect. So see if you can drop any attachments that you have about what it's supposed to look or feel like. Or if you have an outcome attached to it. See if you can just release all of that in this moment, almost like little cords or threads that have you wanting things to go in a certain way. What if right now you can just untie all of those and separate them from your space, move them back a little bit, and give yourself room to just be here exactly as you are, open to whatever it is that this hour is going to bring you, just you. Yeah, doesn't even that feel better? move some of the energy away so that you have room to breathe. Yeah, I find in this work that we often have all this expectation that we put on things. I'm going to clear that issue, or I'm going to solve that relationship, or I'm going to heal that wound. And really, all of it is teaching us in every moment. So for today, let's just show up for the teaching of whatever it's going to be. Good. All right, so connecting with where you're sitting, if you're in a chair, go ahead and let yourself lean further back. Let the seat hold you. Yeah, you don't have to sit up so straight and try to hold everything together. What if you can relax further back into the seat and let your shoulders drop? Let your core relax. We tend to hold those bellies so tight, trying to make everything work out exactly as it's supposed to. Go ahead and just start loosening the muscles. Yep, and then feel your bottom. If you're laying on the floor, you can just do this with your whole body at the same time. Or if you're sitting on the floor, connect in with the root, with your bottom that is resting on the chair or the floor. And imagine you can magnetize from that space. So picture a really giant magnet like you would see in the cartoons when you were a kid, those huge, big, powerful magnets, and whatever is trying to resist the attraction, the magnet just keeps tugging and pulling, and all of those things get drawn right towards the magnet whether they want to or not. Put the intention around the magnet that your energy starts to come back and down and in. Not everyone else's, not all the people you're taking care of or trying to fix or save, just your energy. Yeah, this might be a new feeling. If you're not in your body very often, or you're running and busy and constantly on the go, feeling all of you inside of your physical body can sometimes be a little intense. So if you're feeling that, just go ahead and relax all the muscles again. Yep. Good. And then just let the energy start to distribute itself. If you can visualize with that magnet with the cartoon, if all of the things that were being drawn by the magnet rested in just that one spot in the center of the magnet, there'd be too much stuff, right? It would get really crowded there. So what serves best is for all those things to spread out. So you can just visualize your energy just starts to settle, and then some of it goes down into your thighs. Some of it moves up into your belly. But it's all being attracted to the root of you, and then finding a place to settle. Yeah, take a moment to really just do that. Feel yourself coming all the way in. And then consciously just kind of spread the energy through your legs and through the core of your body. Yeah, and then relax all the muscles again. So if you're holding your legs tight, just loosen your legs. Yeah, you can keep your feet planted on the floor, but just loosen the muscles that want to hold it all in place. Yep, and then connect into your breath again. Slow it all down. Nice work. Nice work. Very well done. All right, so let's go ahead and connect into the earth from here. So plant your feet on the floor. If you're sitting on the floor, you can use your ankle bones, whatever is actually resting against the surface of the earth. If you're sitting on your floor cross-legged too, what I would suggest is don't have your legs actually overlapping each other. Create a space so that as energy moves, if it does move out your feet, it's not going to go right back into your leg. There's like room for energy to kind of move around. All right, so either through your ankles or through your feet on the floor, what I'd like to do is create a pathway where things that will come up in our work today can move through your body and then go down into the floor, and then you can just sort of let them go into the earth. The earth is a recycling center, right, for us, for humans as we live here, but also for energy, for emotions. And it's a natural way of things for emotions to just wave through us and then have a pathway out into the earth, so that we're just conduits. We're just energetic beings in these physical bodies. And what happens is we tend to forget that, and we try to hold everything inside, and then it gets stuck, and it gets heavy, and it gets blocked, and it starts to make us do crazy things. So what we're going to do is practice setting up this pathway so that energy can move through you, and then we'll be playing with that quite a bit today. So visualize your feet or your ankles. If you're laying on the bed, see if you can use your heels, the lowest part of your body that's actually connected in some way to the earth. All right, so go ahead and visualize whichever part it is that you're using, the ankles, the heels, or the sole of the feet. Go ahead and open them up, almost like there's a sliding door that you can just visualize sliding open. And then imagine at the bottom of your feet there's a suction or a pull of gravity that starts to take place. So we all know the law of gravity, right? If you're here on Earth, you're not going to fly up into the air because gravity is this force that is pulling us towards the center of the Earth. It works the exact same way with emotions. So just as you would imagine your physical feet are going to keep you grounded here on this earth, your physical feet can be the processing center, the recycling place where emotions can go. And so from the bottoms of your feet, you just visualize that the earth starts to turn up the pull of gravity. Yeah, you might feel it right away in like your belly. Often when gravity starts to pull, it goes right to my stomach, and I can feel like a tightening or a tug. So bring your attention back down to your feet if that's what happened to you. We don't want to skip the legs, right? We want to have energy move all the way down through your body and go out through your feet. So start at your feet and feel how the earth can pull and tug from the bottoms of your soles or your ankles or your heels. And just notice, let your feet kind of wake up. Can you feel your toes? Can you feel your heels? And then see if you're willing to let a little bit of tension move from your feet down into the earth. Yep. And perhaps this could be an emotion that you were feeling on your way to the call this morning. So perhaps it's frustration at a busy schedule, or fear not knowing what you're going to look at, or irritation at something that made you late or delayed you, or whatever it would be. Just feel the emotion in your feet. There you go. And then notice that the earth is willing to kind of tug at that for you. There. And then it starts to pull that emotion down into the earth little by little. Yep. And then you'll feel it starting to now move, so you can feel a tug from your knees. Right? It's like once you open the feet and you're willing to try it, it instantly starts to move through your legs, and you can feel, there you go, energy's moving, right? Now there's you guys are like flying now. Now there's all this space for energy to start to move because you've created a pathway, and you see and feel that the earth is willing to receive it. Yeah, some of you are already up in your body, like pulling down. So go ahead and just let the emotion wave down through your feet. Keep bringing your attention down to your feet. There you go. And then the emotion's just going to kind of move through your body all the way down to your feet. This might feel new to you. If that's the case, just keep bringing your attention to your feet. Don't get caught up in your head or trying to process or understand why it's doing that. If you're new to energy moving in this way, it's just like learning to ride a bike, right? You're kind of wobbly the first time, and the second and the third, and then all of a sudden you just start flying, right? You're just on that bike and you're moving. It's the same with this process. If it's not familiar to you, just keep bringing your attention to your feet, like you would on a bicycle, right? You'd bring your attention to the pedals and to your balance. And so that's all you're doing here. And you're just allowing Earth, there you go, to tug from the bottom of your feet and pull out anything that's ready to go in this moment that has a stuck energy to it or a blocked energy to it. Good. And then what I'm going to do is show you so you can visualize how this energy is moving through your body, because in a little bit we're going to go up and do it from the mind space. If you can visualize at the top of your head, there's like a tube or a pathway, almost like a lit runway, straight down through the center of your head, through your neck, down through the whole of your body until it hits your hips, and then it divides into two, and then each of your legs, there's another lit pathway that goes all the way down to your feet, and then out into the earth. Yeah. So as we look at emotions together today, wherever it gets stuck in your body or has been gathering some heaviness, it just gets magnetized towards this pathway that we just visualized. And then the earth is pulling from your feet, and the energy just starts to move. It just starts to move. And then you get to choose when it arrives at your feet if you want to hang on to it or just let it go into the earth for right now. Good. Good. All right, to add to that so we don't fly out is my term, so we don't get in our head and start to loop, what we're going to do is visualize some rooting underneath your feet so that as you're sending energy down, there's a holding in place that will happen with your physical and your energetic body so you can stay present. When energy starts to move, sometimes it's a little intense and it's hard for us to keep our attention on it. So this rooting will just allow it to be easy. All right. So plant your feet on the floor. If you're on the bed, use your heels, or if you're cross-legged, use your ankles. And you want to imagine that there are roots that are going to start forming. Let's say they're maybe an inch wide, and they're going to go from your feet straight down into the earth, and we're going to do this together. So feel the roots starting to go, let's say a foot underneath where you're sitting. If you're on not on a level of the ground, meaning you're on a high-rise building or something that's not basement level, you can visualize these roots going into the floor and then sideways out to the walls and then down through the walls into the earth underneath your building. Sometimes that helps with it not being weird, like your roots are flying in someone's face and the floor underneath you. So do whatever visualization you need to create and get your roots all the way down to the floor that is the earth. And then drop them into the earth 1 foot down. There you go. Good. All right, let's go 5 feet down. So feel the roots going underneath you, 5 feet into the earth. You'll notice that same sensation of gravity tugging you down a little bit, pulling you into here, this moment right now. Good. And then let's go 5 feet wide. So the roots are going to start to multiply, and they're going to form a web. And they're going to go out about 5 feet in all directions, in front of you, behind you, to the side. Yeah, good. You might notice that your body is feeling that because the group doing it together, it's more intense than if you do it by yourself. So if that's the case, just open those roots up at your feet and just let some of that intensity move down into the roots and then down into the earth. So you're just moving energy. All right, so let's take those roots that are 5 feet out, and we're going to go 500 feet down. So just feel them slowly starting to go down into the earth. Yeah, and we did this last week. Imagine they start to dance The roots are so excited that you have actually noticed that you need to be grounded. And so there's a celebration vibration that happens. Like, yeah, the roots know what to do. They know how to ground you. They know how to support you. They're back in the earth that is full of nutrients and power. Yep, feel them go 500 feet down and then instantly go 500 feet out in all directions. Use your breath. Exhale out if it feels intense. And relax your muscles. There you go. Good. Good. We're going to do one more 500 feet down and wide. So go ahead and just feel from where the roots are now. Another 500 feet down into the earth from there. Multiplying at all times. Yeah, you might actually physically be leaning forward right now with the pull of gravity. If that's the case, just relax your muscles. Let yourself lean back in your chair again. Let the roots do the work. You don't have to fight to get the roots down into the ground. That's us trying to control everything. The roots know how to support you and ground your energy, so let them do the work for you. Yeah, so 500 more feet down and then 500 feet wide again. Yeah, and then let your entire body relax. Yep, you might have to do it bit by bit. Let the shoulders relax, your hands loosen, your leg muscles loosen, your core, your jawbone. Good, and then feel that pathway that we created in your body. And anything that's in resistance to you being here in this moment, fully present, just let all of that get attracted to that pathway. And then feel the roots that are dancing underneath you start to tug at that resistance and pull it down. Yep. And again, you can relax your body. Just let the roots do the work and energy starts to move through your body down to your feet. Yep, and then out into the earth underneath your feet. Beautiful work. Beautiful. You guys are amazing. All right, so we're going to let that continue the entire time that we're doing the rest of this work. I use work lightly, the rest of this exploring. So just let the roots continue to tug at whatever needs to move and keep the pathway open so that energy just starts to wave through you and you can get used to this new, it's almost like a freedom, right, of energy, just being energy moving through your body. All right, one more step and then we're going to look at our topic for today. So I want you to visualize Source, God, Universe, One, whatever title you give to the energy that creates everything, right? Creates our world, creates us, creates energy, this thing that we're looking at. See if you can give some form to that being. And imagine that Source or God can just be sitting to your right or left, either one is fine, in the same size perhaps as you. So if you see all light, see if you can just bring the light into something that feels about your size just so you can have this experience and then it can stretch right back out. If Source takes on a human shape, see if you can just sense that energy on either side of you. Good. And then imagine Source or God can put his or her arm around your shoulders or around your back or rest a hand on your knee. Yeah. And what's most important here, I want you to notice your reaction, what comes up in your body as you allow this feeling to be next to you. So for some of you, I feel you pulling away, right? You don't actually want that close of a connection. It may feel overwhelming or intimidating or unfamiliar. You may not feel equal or worthy or deserving. Focus on your body, because I hate to tell you, Source isn't moving. So focus on your body and see what you need to do to relax or center, perhaps that's the right word, to bring yourself back to center like you were before Source arrived. So you may need to move some fear through your body, all the way down to your feet and out. Yep. You may have some emotions moving. Totally fine. That's just energy, finding a way to feel in your body. If that is happening for you, my suggestion is don't block it. It's just energy wanting to move. So if you need to cry or yell or feel something, just feel it and let it move down through that pathway, all the way to your feet, and then out into the earth. Good. Yeah, and then come back into your body and see, can I feel or do I feel more centered with Source sitting next to me? If there's another wave of emotion, just let it move through you again, down to your feet and out. All right, and then see if you're willing to allow a connection, and it can be tiny. It doesn't have to be a full, huge, I love Source and Source loves me and all is good in this world. What if it's just an opening today? Just an opening. Like I could let Source sit next to me and I can feel that. And that's enough for right now. Yeah. Notice any contraction in your body, any tightening, and just loosen the muscles again and let the energy wave through to your feet and out. If it feels like I'm torturing you by making you stay in this space, that's okay, right? You can create a little bit of distance. You can ask Source to move a foot over and give you some breathing room. This is your energy space. You have a right to do anything you want in this space. So see what you need. And then start to claim that for yourself. You might have crawled up into Source's lap right now and have your head just totally tucked in there. All of it is perfect. All of it is perfect. It's important to me in this work to keep showing the balance between Earth and Source or God or universal energy. It's both and, right? We feel the strength of this planet that we are living on, of what Earth creates in every moment with, I keep going to salt water, but the power and majesty of the oceans and the salt water and the sky and this Earth that is 4,000 miles deep. This planet is strong and capable and craving connection with the humans that inhabit it. And it is equally the same with Source or God, craving that connection. Some say up, right? Earth is down, Source is up. I say Earth is next to, or sorry, well, Earth is also, I say Source is next to you. Next to you, above and also next to. Yeah. Okay, so that's an opening for you to explore in your own meditation time. This relationship, this dynamic with Source. Yeah, all right, relax your body. That was a lot. That was a lot, and you hung in there. Good work. Good work. All right, we're going to shift our attention to this topic that came up for me as I woke up this morning. I was laying in bed, and then it just kept hammering its way home in my head in my own meditation earlier. And so I trust that. I trust that it's something others are feeling, and so I'll bring it forward, and we'll just see where it takes us. Yeah, So first, relax your body. If you want source to move away, just say, scoot over, buddy. You're a little too close. Or if you want more, ask for more, right? And then feel the pathway that's open in your body to the earth. So as we look at this topic together, you've got a way for energy to just move through you as we're looking at it. All right, so for those who do not love astrology, give me 1 minute as I explain this, and then we'll move to why I bring it up. So we had a full moon this week, and you may have noticed it if you were outside over the last couple of days because it's so bright, right? We have a bedroom with windows that bring all that moonlight in, and literally it was like a light has been turned on in our bedroom for the last couple of nights. There's no way to avoid it. It's a spotlight. And to me, that's the energy that full moons bring into what we're experiencing here as earthlings, as humans on this planet Earth that is so dictated by the cycles of the moon, right? The tides are dictated every single day by what is happening with the moon, and humans are also. And to me, the full moon is about illumination. It brings light into places where perhaps we haven't wanted to look, or there have been some shadows, or for a very good reason, there's pain that has made us close off certain parts of our hearts or our souls. And so this full moon comes in, and it shines a light in all those places, and it starts to stir things up. And as it does that, we end up having it reflected typically in our relationships, because our relationships are our greatest teachers. And so suddenly we're fighting with our children, or we're irritated with coworkers, or we're getting into a spat with our husband or our wife, or our parents drive us crazy, right? All those relationships that are our teachers have things that come up that begin to get illuminated. And sometimes, often, it's with people we're not even in relationship with anymore. So perhaps someone who's passed. If you have a parent who's passed, you might have found this past week you just kept thinking about them, or there was something in the relationship that you suddenly were able to get new perspective on. Yeah, sometimes we're not in relationship with them anymore in this lifetime, and we still learn from them, right? Yeah, so we're going to start with an easy one, and then we're going to look at perhaps a more complex one and just see what there is for us to know. The part that will probably drive you craziest about all of this is the illumination isn't so much about the other person. We think it is, right? We're like, yes, I finally figured out why they're such a jerk, or now I know why I can't stand that person. It's really illumination about ourselves. I know. Ouch. It might get a little more ouchy as we go through this, but I promise we'll bring you through to a place of clarity. Yeah, it usually comes back to us. And that's why we're here. That's why we're humans, instead of being souls just floating around being happy all the time, right? We want to stretch and deepen into and understand emotions, because that's the richness of the soul. That's the magic, right? There is no greater connection than feelings with people. So we're going to start with an easy one. At least I'm hoping it's easy for most of you. All right, I want you to visualize, perhaps this happened this past week or in the past few weeks. At some point while you're driving, someone on the road is going to do something that usually will irritate you. So see if you can picture one of those scenes in your mind. Something recent would be best. Right? Perhaps it's someone who sped through a red light and you were about to turn, or they didn't yield at the stop sign, or someone flipped you off, or whatever the story is. See if you can visualize something that happened. Yeah, okay, so start with that. Feel the emotion that came up in you. Yeah, this actually might take you a minute, because you might have jumped right to the next emotion after that. You might have jumped right to rage or right to pouty or whatever the next emotion was. See if you can feel the first emotion that came up as you saw that person do that thing. Yep, and notice where it is in your body. Yeah, for many of us, it's like the heart starts to beat super fast, right? Adrenaline kicks in and your heart's racing. Or maybe your stomach like clenches and it immediately locks up. You might find it in your shoulders, like your shoulders stiffen and your arms lock on the wheel. It might go to your legs, right? Your foot hits the brake and then perhaps gets a little tremor after that. So notice the body's reaction, and then see if you can tune into what emotion underneath that drove that body reaction. Yeah, for me, that's typically fear, right? Fear of an accident, fear of someone getting hurt, fear of something making me late if I'm in an accident. Perhaps for you, it's loss of control. Right? That person took control out of your hands by making a choice or a decision that could have impacted you and you had nothing to do to help yourself. If so, my guess is even underneath that is fear. Fear of the loss of control. Yeah, you might find in this moment your jaw got really tight, or you're gritting your teeth a little bit. If that's the case, pay attention. What is your jawbone trying to tell you, right? Maybe it's remembered pain of other times where you felt like you weren't in control. Yeah. So what happens typically in a situation like that is we do one of two things. We either shut it all down, so our whole body kind of goes into lockdown and all the emotions get stuffed inside. And then we turn up the music and put on a happy song, or we start to smile, or we do an exhale and move on with our day. Thank God that didn't get any worse, and we move on, right? And something gets trapped inside in that moment. That's repressive, right? If you're reactive, what you might find is you throw that fear out. So you might flip somebody off. You might yell and scream. Right? I go back and forth between both of these. Sometimes I'm like, oh, thank God, that's great. And other times I'm screaming at the car like, what were you thinking? I'm in the car with my children. How dare you do that and risk our lives? Right? So either one, it's just a reaction or a repression. It's not bad. But notice what your typical response seems to be. Yeah. And then the invitation is, what if you could sit with the first emotion and instead of stuffing it down or throwing it out, use this pathway in your body to move it through and then down to your feet and out into the earth? We're just going to try it. What if? What if we could try that? So go back to the moment where the person irritated you in the car. Feel what happens in your body, so whatever the contraction was that started. And instead of trying to override it, bring all your awareness to the place of the contraction. Yeah, so for me, like all my awareness goes to my heart, right? There's so much fear of loss, of losing someone important to me in an accident. Right? Yours might be your throat, your shoulders, your belly. Just go to the place of the contraction, and I'm asking you to stay with me for a moment. Just be with the contraction for a second, for a minute. You're not going to get lost in here. You're going to move it because you bring your attention and your awareness to it. Yeah, go all the way into it. It might feel a little intense. Just stay with me another few seconds, all the way in. And then bring that energy, that emotion, that contraction right into the magnetic pathway that we created. And just feel it being pulled by the earth down through your body, all the way to your legs. loosen your body, and then run that energy. You can do it slowly or fast, down through your legs all the way to your feet. Yeah, you have to choose to open up your feet, right? You're probably really good at holding on to it. What if you can feel the earth, there you go, tugging from the bottoms of your feet? There, see? And then the energy can just move through the roots down into the earth, and it can just get recycled. I'm telling you, this earth knows so much about fear and moving and transmuting fear. So us holding on to it, it's kind of futile, right? Like, why would we do that? Just move it through and let the earth take it for you. And then recycle it. Recycle it into something more expansive for all of us. Okay, so feel that for a second. Your energy that's judged as not good or feels toxic goes down into the earth through the roots. You're 1,000 feet down in the roots. Remember, they went way down. It's quiet down there. There's lots of room for purification. Feel the roots sending the toxic energy into the earth, and then it gets recycled. And then feel the earth sending through the roots, pushing up through the roots into your legs. A cleaner energy, an energy of compassion for the other driver. An energy of love for yourself, that you want to protect those that you care about so much. Feel it arriving at the bottoms of your feet, and then you get to choose, right? You get to choose again. Do I want to receive a little support from the earth because she just took from me this toxic energy and she wants to give back to me this purified, cleaner, more expansive energy? See if you want to allow your feet to start to receive. Yeah, there you go. And then pull up into your legs, through your knees, up into your thighs, and then back to that place that was contracted. And then just feel that earth energy just loving and soothing that place that was contracted. Yeah, and there's the magic. Do you see how it starts to expand? The contraction becomes this expansion. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, now you could stop it or you could just play with it for a moment. What if it expands a little more? Expands a little more. What if it even gets a little bigger than the physical size of your body? And that emotion becomes something that could spread out into the world that feels expansive, rejuvenated, purified. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. All right, so bring that back to the physical size of your body again. Yeah, and then just run anything that needs to be released back down into the earth. And then down through your feet. All right, we're going to go a little deeper with this. So dissolve the whole story of the car. I think you saw what you needed to in that space. So dissolve that image. And then I want you to feel into this past week. So here we were with this full moon and illumination. And my guess is one of your important relationships in your life had something that started to move or shift with this illumination spotlight on it. So for me, it was awareness of something that happened with a former friend of mine, and all the judgment that came up with it. I was so happy to project it, right, at this person and go, oh, I can't believe that happened. And when I sat in my meditation, I came in like we just did. I came in and I turned the illumination inward and started to ask the questions of what was I learning from that? Where was the contraction in my body? What is there for me to know about this? Instead of throwing it out at that person, I went in. Right? So I invite you, we're going to do this together for a couple minutes, and then I'm going to give you some quiet space to really look at it for yourself. Pick one relationship. It can be anything. There's no expectation of which one it is. Just pick a relationship. something that perhaps had a little stickiness or trigger or turmoil over the past week. And then picture that person and yourself in your mind's eye in front of you. Yeah, ground yourself in again for a moment. Feel the roots underneath your body going way down, 1,000 feet down into the earth. There you go. Remember the pathway in your body of where energy is going to move or get magnetized towards. So if you're feeling stuck, you can always just send energy there. Feel the earth pulling from your feet. You don't have to get into a loop, right? You can just feel it and wave it through you. All right, and as you're thinking of that relationship, feel the situation or story that created the trigger or created the tension. So just allow your mind to go back to that. I felt all this righteousness come up. Like, of course it's their fault. They're so stupid or they're so whatever, right? Yeah, aren't we cute the way we do that? All right, feel the contraction in your body. Where did you experience the trigger physically? So see if you can notice that. And then be really honest with yourself. What was your reaction? Did you try to stuff it down? Did you try to throw it out? My guess is, if you're like most of us, myself included, the natural thing is to not want to see it for ourselves or look inward. The natural thing is to try to pin the blame on someone else so we can be the victim, right? And then we can feel sympathy for ourselves and make a whole story out of it and move through it without really doing the work. Doing the work. All right, so look at what your reaction was. Stop judging yourself. It's just your reaction. It's what we do when we're triggered. Yeah, and then see if you can feel what was the emotion underneath all of it. Right? So for me it was fear of not being in control, fear of giving up my power to somebody else. The way I looked at it at first was they took the power from me. What's more truthful is I actually gave the power up and I didn't take the time to look at what was happening, to feel in my body if something felt good or not. Right? To trust myself more than anybody else. That's where I got stuck. So see if you can feel what might be underneath that situation. Yeah. Yeah, and then what I'm going to do is give you maybe about 7 or 8 minutes. And I'd like for you to do the process we did with the driver. So feel the contraction in your space. When it feels intense, go into it, right? Feel the emotion of it. Sit with it. Be with it. When it feels too intense, you run that emotion down to the earth through your feet. Let it go. And then you come and you look in. What is your lesson to learn in all of this? What is being illuminated in you that is just being reflected through the relationship? So turn it inward and see if you can explore that. Yeah, it might sound like it's going to be a long time. As you're doing this process, it's going to be so quick. All right, so I'm right here holding space with you. Go ahead and look inward and see what is here for you today. All right, take about 1 more minute and see if you can just move the emotion through you. Give it a pathway all the way down to your feet. If you're trying to hold on to it and really process it, see if in this moment you can just let it be energy that moves. It goes down and out with the earth pulling from the bottom. And take a moment to complete that. Good. Use your breath. Use your breath and slow, long exhale. See if you can just take all the sticky parts and just move them through, down and out. So this time, this quiet time for you to explore it for yourself is also the perfect way to understand how you loop when you get stuck, right? So if you noticed you couldn't even get out of your mind because you were looping through all the reasons why they do the thing they do and it drives you crazy, it's a beautiful entry into you spending time just moving energy through your body and out and not trying to hold on to it, right? The holding on keeps us stuck. It stops us from expanding. It stops us from just being love, moving through relationships, right? If you noticed that you went in and you couldn't think or feel and you kind of just got really quiet and sort of dead feeling inside, notice that you might be someone who represses emotion. And so your work is going to be to get comfortable again with just letting it move through you, opening your feet, and allowing support into your system. You don't have to try to figure it out by yourself. You can allow the earth to support you, and you can allow source to support you. You can allow your friends to support you. Yeah, in my opinion, the goal is just to always get to feeling the emotion and then just moving it through you. That's it. Just moving it through you, releasing it to the earth. Because I promise more emotions will come after that. And if you start to grab and hold on and stuff down, it just gets more and more and more confusing and crowded and blah, right? So if you just get in the habit, the practice of allowing it to just wave through your body and down through your feet and into the earth, you become this energetic being that just feels and releases and feels and releases. And I promise life gets so much more fun. It's not nearly as much work as trying to hold on and stuff down. So in this moment, we're going to come to a wrap-up stage here. So go ahead and feel anything in your body that has come up in this entire time together, anywhere in your body. Feel that magnetic pathway in the center of your system pull all of that stuck stuff, all of the contractions, tightenings, judgments, whatever, into the magnetic pathway. Feel your feet at the bottom. Choose if you want. You can stay stuck, but try it this way, just for fun if you'd like. Open your feet up. Feel the earth underneath you. Just start to pull. And you might find right now you're yawning like crazy, you're burping, you want to physically move. Awesome. It's energy moving through your body. Let it go. Let it move. Feel the earth pulling from your feet, tugging like a suction cup. Anything in your system that isn't serving that you're willing to release in this moment. Just feel it moving down and out. All the way to your feet. And then out into the earth. Yep, your legs might shake a little bit. It's just energy moving through. Keep going until you feel like whatever you want to move in this moment has moved and shifted. Yep, and then relax all your muscles. This is my favorite part. And then go ahead and turn the energy from the earth into purified energy, or let the earth do it for you. And then turn your feet into really powerful suction cups. Like if you were on the moon and it was like thump, thump from step to step, feel the power of your feet pulling purified, recycled, I always call it like a brownie gold color, like sparkly dust magic, whatever feels good to you. That energy of joy and abundance and peace, right? Just peace. Feel your feet pulling that energy up into your legs, sucking all the way up through your body. Yep, all the way through. We're going through the same exact pathway that just took it down. We're bringing the purified energy all the way up through to the top of your head. It's going to come out your crown. It's going to whale spout out the top, all of that beautiful, abundant, clean, purified energy. It's going to come down and around your body like a waterfall. Feel your body relax from the outside just like it did on the inside, all the way down to your feet, and it's going to go back into the earth, recycled, and you can just run this energy for a little bit after the call if you want. Feel it coming up again through your feet, all the way up through this pathway, clearing out anything that's ready to move, filling every cell with joy and abundance, bringing it up through to the top of your head, whale spouting out the top, and then coming down and around your body. Yeah, this is just energy moving, not stuck, just flowing and playing and dancing with you. Whew. Good work. Good work. I invite you to journal about some of this and bring it into your meditation practice this week. And just keep illuminating in yourself those places that are ready to be explored, and then just let it move. Just let it move. So much love from my heart to each one of you today. Have a beautiful afternoon.